What's up guys, and today we're going to be reacting to another video from Car Nate. Watch this.
Good morning, it is our third day in Cuba and today we are leaving Havana and going to Viñales where they grow the famous Cuban tobacco.
However, if you're here during high season, maybe don't wait till the very last second to book your transportation. We're riding in a shared taxi, but since we booked at the last second, we're in separate taxis.
For 2.5 hours.
Apparently there's like two families going and they each have one seat left in the car. The taxis are traveling together, but just, yeah, we each have one seat in each car.
I have major separation issues.
That's a good tip actually. If you want to plan your trip to Cuba, try to do it ahead.
The other like potential issue here is that if the cars get separated, we have no internet, no cell phone. How did people like find each other in the old days?
Yeah, back then in 2018, you only had Wi-Fi, so it was super complicated back then.
I guess you just had nothing else to do. You just wander until you found your way. Bye.
Bye.
Miss you.
See you in Viñales.
Okay. This is what I get to ride in.
Check out our car.
I can't believe this. Well, actually, I can.
Okay, we are about 2 hours into the drive and our driver just pulled over onto this tobacco plantation. There are a few other tour groups here, but Nate's car is not here. I have no idea where he is. This very nice man is offering us coffee and a cigar.
If the car is broken, I have to keep watching. And they stopped specifically in this place where they're gonna be offering you coffee, tobacco, all this stuff where you can buy some stuff. You gotta be aware of the places because probably it's gonna be a scam. I'm not telling you that the stuff that you're gonna buy, they're not gonna be legal. They might be legal, but at the same time, it's not gonna be original. For example, the cigar. If you're going to Viñales, Viñales equals cigar. That means a lot because everyone that is going to Viñales is because they want to know, first of all, the countryside, how the countryside is in Cuba, and second, buying cigars, or maybe they want to know more about the cigar plantations in Cuba. So let's pay attention to this.
I'm not really sure. I didn't know this was included in this drive, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So crazy. I've had these experiences, guys, before. Actually, the last tour that I did, I had some issues with the car as well. It was much better than this one. Of course, this one is a colectivo, so everyone pays a little bit to get the ride. But I was getting a very luxury old mobile, and we had some issues with the car. If you get an old car like that, something might happen in the middle of nowhere. So it's part of the Cuban experience, you know.
We're about an hour into the trip so far. We have yet to leave the city of Havana, and I feel like everything that I've heard about travel in Cuba.
Oh, now I get it. Now I get it. So the car that was broken was actually Nate's, no Kata's. So that makes sense. So probably it's even worse if Kata stopped in a place where she could buy cigars. Even before we get into Viñales, there's probably a scam. So be aware of that.
Is coming true. We've packed 5 people into the car. We're all sitting with the luggage in our lap. And right as we were about to leave the city, the car has completely broken down.
This is so strange. They did not tell us that this tour was a part of our ride, but I'm kind of enjoying it. I just wonder where Nate is.
Okay, we're back on the road and we'll see how far we make it this time. Okay, we just made a pit stop at one of those places that I think is like a bit of a tourist trap where you're supposed to buy something, and apparently our car has some kind of issue, so we're switching to another car, and maybe this is the car that Kara got in? I was wondering if we would ever be reunited?
Maybe you continue with the car.
Maybe, but I still don't know where my wife is. So because we got delayed in Havana for...
As Nate is saying, guys, you gotta be paying attention to these little places that you're gonna be stopping to get a coffee, to buy some cigar. Do not buy any cigar. You're gonna go to the cigar plantation somehow. So if you want to wait for that, you're gonna get the best fresh Cuban cigar, and the price is gonna be cheaper than probably these places. Okay. So another thing that you might be paying attention to is if you want to switch the car, you're not going to be paying twice. Some people say, hey, please, this taxi is going to be a little bit more expensive. No, no, at all. I mean, we got a deal. This was the first price, so we're not going to pay anything more. So pay attention to that. If you want to come by yourself, there's some issues. That's one of the issues that you might be facing unless you come with some professional guides or people who might guide you guys through these routes, you know.
Maybe, but I still don't know where my wife is. So because we got delayed in Havana for an hour, I didn't know I'd ever see you again.
Where are you hiding?
Our car broke down.
Oh no!
Before we even got out of our...
What's on your head?
Are you not black?
No.
Everybody in our car is just filthy black.
That's because of the dust of the street, and because in Cuba most of the cars they don't have AC, so you gotta be with the window all the way down. So that's pretty common. Look at Kara's face. It's unbelievable.
Am I?
I haven't even looked at it.
Do I look like you?
No, you're not dirty at all.
Weird.
Have the windows been rolled up in your car?
No. We got them down.
I thought it was like the exhaust from all the other cars.
That is so weird.
They were like, yeah, you'll be together all day, the cars will drive together. Literally, as soon as we got in the cars, they just split directions.
I was so nervous.
It really depends, you guys. If you want to come with us, for example, and if you come with us to Viñales and you want to have a very comfortable car, the cars are going to have AC. But if you come to Viñales with a Colectivo, it's going to be so uncomfortable. You're going to be sharing the taxi with some other people, all the suitcases, the bags, whatever. So it's going to be a little bit overwhelming for some people who are not used to this experiences. So if you want to come with us and you want to get a little bit more comfortable, we can help you with that.
I have this piece of paper with our address on it. I knew nothing else. I have no money. I have no pesos.
I thought about the money. I need to give you money.
Yeah. And then we pull over at this farm. Did you go?
This is the wipe that I just cleaned my face with. Apparently the exhaust tube that sits in the front of the car broke, and so we've just been sitting in the car breathing in exhaust. A few years off my life. Your way back brakes. We'll know why. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
Do we think they fixed the exhaust on the car?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, okay.
Vámonos to Viñales. We think the car's been fixed, so hopefully we won't be breathing exhaust for the next hour.
The main thing is that there's some different ways to get to Viñales, and it really depends about who are you going to Viñales with.
Okay. I just got dropped off. I have no money, no phone, and the place where we're staying is not accessible by car because of this little bridge here. And Nate is in the other car. So I'm just gonna walk and hope that someone nice can tell me where to go. Oh man. I think this is it. Hola, mi nombre es Kara.
En el mismo taxi.
Carretera y cementerio, ¿tú no sabes dónde queda?
¿Para la policía?
No, policía es para abajo. Pasaste el cupé, cogiste recto para abajo.
Recto para abajo.
Very lost.
Alright, this is almost 2 p.m. We have finally made it to the town of Viñales. We dropped off the other 4 people who were in the car with me, and now we just have to find my casa, which involves a lot of showing this little green paper to people around town. That's what people did before Google Maps. They just ask a lot of questions, like stop every 10 feet.
Well, I made it to our Casa Particular, no problem. Our hosts are very sweet, but speak zero English.
Yeah.
I beat Nate here. Hopefully their car didn't break down again. And I guess I'll just wait here.
¿Esta casa cuál es? ¿Alguien puede entrar por aquí?
Oh gosh. Guys, where are you?
This could be the end for me.
Oh gosh, look at that. Look at that, guys. Look at that bridge. I don't know how Nate got that risk. It's so unbelievable. Look at that. Oh gosh. I don't know where's that. That's in the middle of nowhere. What part of Viñales is that? If you've been guys in somewhere like this, let me know in the comments below. It's insane. Oh gosh.
Without exaggeration, this is the 15th person we passed. People keep pointing in different directions. The last lady we asked pointed this way. This guy's pointing back that way. Oh. No. No.
Oh my God.
I was just worried about being late. Now it's whether we're gonna make it or not. Gracias. We've regrouped. I've washed my face with a cold towel, and now we are heading into the center of town because we need to figure out how to exchange some money. We need to figure out how we can get to the tobacco farms tomorrow, and we're gonna try to find a good place to watch the sunset.
That's a good to-do list. But the point is that if you got to Viñales and you don't know already how to exchange the money, nowadays that's extremely complicated. Back then it was pretty easy because you go to the bank, a book tour. I'm not a book tour person. I do prefer having a tour guide. It's more about what I love doing, know what I can see, what I could do, and then finding the place. Maybe that place is not the same. A tour guide is going to be telling you, hey, this is not working anymore. This place is going to be closed at this time, blah, blah, blah. Because Cuba is so complicated, and if you come to Cuba by using a book tour, some things are not going to be updated, some things are not going to be working any longer. So you're going to be thinking about the places and the situations even before coming to Cuba. I always say that. So let's keep watching.
Need to make it worth it for this journey out here. This afternoon's to-do list just kind of completely fell apart. We weren't able to get money because the bank closed at 3. We didn't book a tour, and now we've ended up back on the roof of our house for sunset.
Oh, now I get it. He was talking about booking a tour, not a book tour, like a guide. That's what I was thinking about. Oh, he wanted to book a tour. Okay, pay attention to that. First of all, he couldn't exchange the money. They couldn't exchange the money, and the reason is because the banks, they close 3 p.m. If you probably could ask some locals, they're gonna say, hey, it closes. It's gonna be closed at 3 p.m. Probably it's gonna be closing earlier because in Cuba you never know. Now, for booking a tour, if you're going to Viñales, unless you're staying in Viñales 2 or 3 days, you're gonna have time enough. The same thing that I did when I went to Viñales, when I went to Trinidad. I knew that I was having a good time to book a tour. If you don't, because you're going to Viñales for only probably a couple days, going one day and then coming back the next day, but maybe in the morning you want to do a tour, guys, go having the tour booked in advance. You don't want to waste it in a second because probably you get there, you're not going to have time, you're not going to find the place, you're going to find it. The thing that you're going to be finding is a lot of struggles like this. So,
which isn't all that bad, just not what we had planned.
We were successful in doing one thing though, which was avoiding our very first scam.
oh yeah.
So we needed to get bus
Probably
tickets to go
not.
to Trinidad in a couple days. We'd heard the bus filled up quick, so we went to the bus station, tried to buy the tickets, and
It's just like a mini scam. And they weren't successful. So we got to the bus station, this guy was sitting outside, and on our way in, he stood up and he was like, where are you going? What do you need? And so we told him.
like you work there.
Yeah. We're like, we need bus tickets to Trinidad on Sunday. And he's like, oh, okay. So he takes us over to the desk where the guy books buses. And he says something to the guy, and he said, what day do you need them? And we said Sunday. And he immediately said, oh,
Full.
it's full.
Cool.
And we're like, oh, darn.
And then he took us over to the desk where this other guy was selling a more expensive taxi, and it just all kind of felt weird.
Yeah, so the taxi was available on Sunday. And then Nate was, I guess, curious about the other days and went back to the first guy.
The official guy sitting behind the counter selling the bus tickets. And I was like, well, do you have tickets for Monday? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, well, what about Friday? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, well, what about Saturday when we need to wait? And he was like, yeah. Like it was a secret. Like the guy at the door obviously either like paid him a commission if we took the taxi, or I don't know. It was weird.
I do know what happened here. The point is that when you go to places like this, it's very typical. If you don't know, if you don't go straight to the place, if you don't go straight to the person that is going to be helping you. In this case, guys, if you want to get a bus to go to Trinidad, we're going to see in the next videos why. Go straight to the person who's selling the tickets. Do not talk with anyone else, because in these places, there are tons of people. There are people who wants to work for a commission, which is not legal. There are people who are like working there for a salary. No, we don't have. But then you can tip. You're not going to be paying more. You're going to be tipping. And if you tip at the end, yes, of course, it's going to be an extra. But you got the ticket. So the ticket, I mean the bus, you know, which is probably much cheaper than getting the taxi. So let's see at the end how they solve this problem.
So we just left because we didn't have any money and we couldn't book it anyways. And I just felt like we needed to include this in this video. Like, if you are coming to Cuba, just know that that happened to us. We didn't want to act like it didn't, and I'm very sad.
I would just caution you, if you're coming here, to just kind of take everything that people say with a grain of salt if it feels like a little off to you. And we wouldn't just bring this up if this was kind of a one-time thing, but one kind of underlying theme of our trip so far. We've had an incredible time, but at the same time we've heard a lot of different things from different people.
Like about the same subject. So our tour guide will tell us one thing who is awesome and we had the best time with them, but then like we go home to our casa and hear a different story about the same subject. And so it was just kind of, it would just be confusing, and we don't have internet to look anything up, like what's real, and I don't know, nothing really bad, just interesting.
We've just found ourselves 3 days into our Cuba trip, having a hard time figuring out who we can trust.
Yeah.
And again, like, I don't want to sit here and like say this because we don't like being negative, but at the same time we want to be kind of real with what's going on. So if any of you are planning your trips based off our video, you'll have a little bit better idea of what to expect.
We're still having a fantastic time and cannot wait to spend tomorrow in Viñales. It seems like an awesome place.
And with all that said, if it doesn't get any better, our casa owner is cooking us a lobster dinner tonight. We're sitting up on top of the roof watching the sunset.
She's making us mojitos.
There's so many beautiful parts about Cuba, but that's not the full story, which is why we wanted to do this. Okay, rant over. Tomorrow will be a great day exploring Viñales.
We're gonna enjoy the sunset. Time lapse.
Time lapse. Okay guys, that was for today's video. Hopefully you understand a little bit more about Cuba. Hopefully this video helps you to understand how to visit Cuba with a better plan ahead. And if you want to come to Cuba, we can help you with that. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Colonel In. Thank you so much for watching the channel. I'm planning a next trip to Cienfuegos because I want to document that for you guys. So make sure that if you want to see more travel vlogs or you want to see more react videos just like this one for people who wants to visit Cuba and I want to react to them to see how well they did it. Not the video itself, but the excursions, the tours, the experience they had here. So my name is Alex Rodriguez. Love you and watch this video next.